Hello, everyone. I know it has been quite a while since I last posted. That's because I had exams, but that's not the main reason. I was also disheartened by the low views I was getting, but I realized that I genuinely enjoy making content like this. And even though I may have just 50 people who regularly watch my content, that is still more than zero. And even if there's just one person who watches my content and is genuinely enjoying it, I'm happy to be posting. So I'm going to try to be a little more regular in posting, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. So that was a few months ago, and guess what I did? I procrastinated on making that video, and I lost my curly hair, and I have an Indian accent now. So safe to say life has not been going too well. But let's get into the video. So we are going to be covering a few of the weirdest Reddit posts I have seen over the past few months. And we're going to start with one which was talking about a guy who bought a watermelon and smashed it. Um, Not in that way. He didn't smash it with his hands. He smashed it with his privates, if you get what he just fucked the watermelon, basically. And then he buried it in the garden and it started to stink, and it also created a watermelon garden over there because apparently the seeds, I don't know, they grew into watermelons or something, and his whole family loved that watermelon garden, and only he knew that he had fucked the watermelon that had started the entire garden. So that was a very interesting post I saw. It was very funny and a little strange as well. I rate that one an 8 out of 10. Another one I saw was about a guy who had been fantasizing about scat for years. And if you don't know what scat is, it's people who have a kink for poop, like they're sexually attracted to like poop. And that's a whole another video in itself. I'm not gonna get into that. That's a little gross, but he finally saved up some money and hired a call girl to tie him up and poop on him. But it turned out he wasn't into scat at all IRL. He just thought he was into it because he'd been watching the videos and he liked that, but he wasn't into it actually in real life. And now he was just sitting in the hotel room after she had left, and he wrote the Reddit post reflecting on how much time and money he had spent to get shit on, and how much he regretted it. The Reddit post to read in itself is so disgusting. It's a little detailed, and I think that it just kind of got to me. So I will not be reading that out on YouTube. But basically, he had paid an escort to do the thing on his mouth, and then as soon as it touched his mouth, he realized that he did not like it at all, and he was too polite to tell her to stop. It's an interesting read. I would not recommend you guys go and read that, but you can find it on the internet if you want. It's all shits and giggles until someone giggles and shits. I'm trying to make this light-hearted, but it was really traumatizing to read. That shit is disgusting. Also, I wanted to clarify about the watermelon story. The seeds did not grow because he smashed the watermelon. He smashed the watermelon, buried it underground, and then plants grew from the seeds just because of, natural processes. And like plants grew from the watermelon seeds, and his family loved the garden that had started because he had fucked and buried the watermelon. What is Reddit even about at this point? Like, these are real stories about real people just like you and me. And they're out here doing the wildest shit known to man. Also, bro, between you and me, you gotta hit that subscribe button. I desperately need it, or I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Moving on, we are gonna cover a disturbing story, which is even more gross than the ones I've told you just now. It is up a level, it is up a notch. It is none other than the infamous Dorito story. So, our story takes place in an old age home, and there is this woman living at the old age home who is morbidly obese. She also has kind of a disorder where she eats a lot of things which are not food. She eats food as well, but sometimes she goes and eats stuff like napkins and stuff like that. Anyway, she steals another resident's Doritos one day, and the resident complains to the nurse. She's like, "This lady stole my Doritos." She just took them and went to her room and she wasn't giving them back. So the nurses told the other old man, don't worry, we'll get it back for you. And they walk in to the lady's room. Now, this is where they see a horrifying sight. I want to hold your hand while I tell this to you, and I'm going to try not to barf myself. The lady is sitting on her bed with just the chips and nothing else. She is sitting buck naked with her legs spread apart. There is a thick, almost gelatinous discharge coming out of her hoo ha, and she's dipping the Doritos in it and eating them. She also had a big smile on her face as she's eating the chips, and the liquid is dripping down her chin. I think that should be enough for you guys to make you click away from this video, unsubscribe from the channel, block it, everything. But if you're still here, congratulations, you have made it to the end. I don't think I have it in me to continue and make this video longer. So, thank you guys for watching.